Part 1. Betrayal. Chapter 1. August 30th, 1715. 3 weeks earlier. Thatcher reclined against the stone rail of the footbridge at the edge of the governor of Jamaica's estate. The night was clear and bright. 1,000 stars danced among the dark leaves of the 2 great mangrove trees that joined above his head. The aristocrats could say what they wished about Port Royal. The town was dirty and smelly. The townspeople even more so. But Port Royal had a magic all of its own, and here, on this bridge, Thatcher had found its nexus. The governor's house had been built on a hill above the port, near the source of the freshwater brook that gave rise to the town. To be sure, the port below had its own distinctive and altogether unpleasant smell, but here, above it all, there was naught but the light salt scent of the ocean breeze and a hint of orange from His Excellency's grove. The babbling brook that ran between the stone foundations of the bridge drowned all other sounds to muted echoes. If he strained to listen, Thatcher could just hear the shouts of revelry and drunken brawls from the taverns of the town, which numbered 4. Each catered to a different class of clientele: the privateer crews, the dock workers, the British soldiers, the ship officers and the dock merchants, none of them of high enough breeding to be considered worthy of tonight's gathering at the mansion, the celebration of Pendleton's 51st birthday. Thatcher could hear that revelry as well, wafting across the governor's small garden like the echo of voices in a dream. He could be in there with them, if he desired it. The Caribbean was not so well stocked with idle aristocracy as London. There were only the high officers of the fort, the bankers, and the governor's tiny administration. When Pendleton wanted to entertain in high fashion, need drove him to invite the captains of the ships that frequented his port. Thus, Thatcher had been afforded a place among Port Royal's elite society, albeit a tenuous one. He did not prefer it. He had not been raised to such a life. He preferred this quiet bridge, this place in between. Through the tall arched windows of His Excellency's ballroom, he watched the celebration. Out here, all was grey and deep blue and silver. But inside, the hall was brightly lit. Red and green and gold flashed by the glass, the bright, gaudy uniforms of the redcoat officers, the deep greens of the bankers' jackets, the shimmering dresses of their wives and daughters. Thatcher spied Henry Jennings, his closest friend and ally among the ship captains of the port. Now there was a man born for courtly ritual. The son of one of the king's favourites, Jennings became accustomed to the life of the nobility at an early age, and he bore it well. Thatcher followed the ease and grace with which his friend moved about the room, weaving his way through the little groups of party guests like a tang through the coral, at one with his environment. Thatcher could not help but envy him.
"If I were not utterly averse to the notion, I should say that you fancied him."
The lilting voice caught Thatcher off his guard. He abruptly turned to find the Lady Catherine Rachel Pendleton standing much too close for his comfort. "Beg pardon, madam," he said, unable to muster anything more eloquent. He found her stealth unnerving. How could he have missed the young lady's approach?
"Jennings,"
she said in a matter-of-fact tone,
"those emerald eyes of yours have followed him round the hall for the last few moments, like a hawk follows a field mouse." "If only they followed me the same way."
Thatcher bowed his head, hoping the darkness beneath the trees would hide the rush of blood to his cheeks. "My lady both flatters me and insults me in one breath. I am only a sailor, and I fear that I do not have the wit to bandy words with you." Kate laid her hands on her slender hips and cocked her head, sending her tightly wound red locks bouncing to one side.
"Oh, come now, don't be absurd. You have more wit about you than any man on this island, and you know it."
"Ah, but you are unquestionably no man of this island, madam." Thatcher did not know why he let Kate draw him in, or perhaps he did know. Either way, she would one day get him hanged, of that he was certain. Whether for honest caring or wicked sport, he could not yet tell. She was enchanting and brazen, and wholly unfathomable. At their first meeting, she had kissed him full on the mouth without provocation, shocking both him and her father. From that point forward, the young Miss Pendleton continued to pursue her infatuation with him, and Thatcher continued to dodge, though not as efficiently as he might.